All right, guys, welcome in here to the Breck and Beitler Show, episode 30. And just trying to cap out this year doing a solo episode. I think it wasn't a bad idea, but also I'm going to be honest, not ideal at all. I don't like doing solo episodes, the one I did, because frankly, it's a little bit corny. And I'm not going to lie, a little bit awkward for me because I'm not talking to someone. I'm just talking to a camera for a half hour. So not ideal, but it is what it is. Been trying to get people on for the last month and a half. People are sick. People have stuff going on. So just thought, you know what, basketball season's ramping up. We're 3 games in, might as well recap some stuff. So we'll be here for about a half hour, but on the agenda today, we're just going to recap some basketball, high school basketball throughout the state, what's going on, look at some rankings, all that stuff, and also what Washington, my school, how we're doing, what's kind of my thoughts on the season so far, 3 games in. Also, we'll talk some fantasy football, recapping the end of the year as that's finishing up. This is championship week, so the final week, championship. I'm actually in the 3rd place game, so didn't make it to the championship, but we'll recap some of that stuff. And then also, we will do my week 8 or 9 TikTok series that I'll clip here on here. Keep it on the podcast, but also I'll clip it and then post it on TikTok as well so I can get that done. But, yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into some high school basketball stuff. So we'll start with us. Washington High School, we are 1-2 right now. And honestly, I think the record doesn't show it, but frankly, I feel like we've actually overall played pretty okay. Definitely some mistakes, and I think it's to be expected, especially as a lot of us that haven't played a ton of varsity basketball yet. I know this is my first year and minutes ever playing varsity these first 3 games, and I'm throwing into a starting role, so it's not, I feel like I've played just fine, and I've been okay. I've obviously had my mistakes, but it's just like, and I'm not the only one, right? There's Jake Baltzer on our team too, who's never played a single rep of varsity basketball. So just trying to get our feet wet, and I think trying to figure out some things about, because it is different than even though it's basketball, it is different than JV and sophomore like we've been playing in the past, right? So I think there's stuff to learn so far, but yeah, we're 1-2. We'll start the first game of the year. We'll start with Lincoln High School. That was our first game. Honestly, recapping that game itself, very proud of how we played. I think you don't want to get satisfied, though, because, at the end of the day, you lost, right? We lost to Lincoln, and I think, people expected you to get blown out. I think a lot of people outside of that thought we were going to get killed by 30, especially Lincoln with how good they were last year and with who they're returning this year. They're returning a lot of big pieces, so it's like, man, it's going to be a cakewalk. And actually, we outplayed them probably for 26 out of 32 minutes of that game. Maybe Lincoln kids will tell you otherwise, but we did look like the better team, to be honest, for the majority of that game, but not much better, like 2 possessions better that whole game. And that last 6 minutes, we started turning the ball over a ton. I don't know about a ton, but costly turnovers, big-time possessions where they capitalized every time. And you play a good team like Lincoln, even though if the ball isn't falling in the hoop for them, or they're just not getting it's just not a pretty game for them. They're a team that there's a reason why they're undefeated, and they're a good team because they will find a way to win no matter what. I know we were up, I think 7 or 5 going into that 4th quarter, and they got together at that end of the 3rd quarter, and they just said, we're just going to hammer them. And they started hard hedging us a lot, created a lot of turnovers, and before you know it, they were up 2 or 4. So I think we played really hard that game. I think there was a lot of good things to take away from that game. And nonetheless, it was a great night, fun night, really back and forth. A lot of people were there. So definitely fun for me, my first ever varsity game. So it was a ton of fun playing in that atmosphere. But I think honestly, overall, we played great. I think we exceeded expectations in a game that we should have won. I think we turned the ball over 19 times, and they rebounded us by about 10 plus, and we should have won that game. A lot of good things to take away, and knowing that if you cut down some turnovers and hustle after some more rebounds, you comfortably win that game. So I think, even though we lost, a lot of good things to take away, we can't be satisfied, right? Game 2, we played Yankton. We won that one out in Yankton by about 12. And honestly, overall, that game, we played fine. I think a lot of our teammates, I think a lot of my teammates thought we should have beat them by a lot more, which, yes, we are probably more than 12 points better than Yankton. But honestly, I was proud of it just because Yankton's a tough place to play. I mean, you're going up there on a Tuesday afternoon. No one shows up to those games. It is dead. And again, you're in Yankton, so you got to bring your own energy. And it's like you've been, especially if you're a varsity guy, you're sitting around all day watching sub-varsity games, and it's tough to get yourself going. And that first half, we were kind of lethargic. I think our defense was actually pretty good. I think offensively, we weren't hitting outside shots, but we were getting good looks inside, which was great, which I really liked. But they were hitting some threes though as well. Even though our defense was pretty good overall, they still hit some tough threes, which is sometimes you just got to tip your cap and be like, okay, yeah, nice shot. So they came out to play and they hit a ton of threes, which kept them in that first half. I think we were up by 4 at half. And honestly, again, I think that half we didn't play awful, but they just had a little bit more energy than us. And they were just hitting some tougher shots than we were. And I don't think we made a 3 that first half, but we got a lot of good easy looks inside. I think Jace had like 11 in the first half, just all inside looks with like a free throw or something getting fouled. So I think when you look at that game, yeah, overall, I mean the first half, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, first half played okay, and then second half we kind of came out and honestly it was kind of a lot like the first half, a little bit better, but a little bit more energy, which was good. I think we realized, okay, we have ourselves a ball game, like we have to step it up, which was good, and we came out there with a 12-point win. And again, I think we only hit a couple threes that second half, but we ended up winning by 12 or 13, just kind of bared. It's a tough place to play in Yankton, so not mad about that game. I think a lot of people were mad about that game, thought we should, again, beat them by 25, but going into Yankton's tough, and they did play well. I mean, Yankton's a team you should beat every single time, but also if you don't come to play, they will beat you. Like, you can't sleep on them. You can't just walk in there. So, honestly, I thought it was not a bad first win for the season, especially going into Yankton, and you still win by comfortably 12 to 15 points, so you'll take that. And then Harrisburg, who we just lost to, rough game, especially if you were at that game. It was not pretty. Okay, how should I say this? I think it was actually a little bit prettier than people thought. We actually got a ton of good looks inside. The looks at the rim we had that game were very, very good. We just couldn't make layups. And that's the ugly part of it. And if you don't make layups, well, you lose. I mean, newsflash, yeah, that's how it works. So I think they beat us by 15. And we left so many points on the table. I mean, there was a lid on the rim that night. And I think the tough thing going away from that game, actually, first of all, even though we lost by 15, I think like if we make half of the layups we missed, it's like a 4-point game probably. But also, I think I was a little upset about we kind of gave up in that third quarter. I think we scored 17 points in the first half, and we're still only down by 10. Like, you got to be happy with. Okay, you can't be happy with your first half performance. You got to be happy that you've played that bad and you're still only down 10. And we came out in the first half, first possession, we hit a 3. It's only 7. Like, you get to stop, hit another couple shots. I mean, it's a one-possession game, and I think we just kind of gave up in that third quarter a little bit. And I think that was kind of the upsetting thing is like even with how bad that first half was, we could have easily just turned around and said, you know what, we're going to come back here second half, bear down. Even if the shots aren't falling, we're going to find a way to win. We're going to play some defense, get some stops. We just didn't do that. And I think that was kind of the upsetting thing is that we just, again, we gave up. And I think that's something we got to learn down the road, that even if the ball isn't falling your way, you got to find a way to just bear down and still find a way to win. I mean, that's what Lincoln did to us. I mean, they were down 9 at one point to a team they shouldn't be down 9 to probably, or at least they thought. You know, we got to bear down and find a way to win this game because we're in a position we didn't think we were, but we're going to find a way to win, and that's why they're 3-0, and they do that kind of stuff. They find ways to win, and I feel like that's something we have to learn. It's a young group still trying to learn that, but I think, yeah, if we can mentally bear down in the games that aren't going our way, especially when it feels like it's over, it's not over. There's a lot of game left. You can hit some shots. So, and I think, yeah, we've kept missing, and I think our defense just got lazy just because we're like, man, we're done. And really, we were never out of that game, like I said, but we felt like we were. And so I think mentally we have to get better there. But, yeah, that kind of I know I took 10 minutes there to recap that. But we are now heading into President's Bowl. We play Jefferson tomorrow, which is Monday, whenever you're listening, Monday the 29th at 5 p.m. They are also 1-2, and it should be interesting because we have our backs against the wall. I mean, we play Roosevelt right after, the day after, and they're undefeated. And if we lose to Jefferson, you're 1-3, and then you go play Roosevelt, who's undefeated as we speak today, which they play Lincoln on Monday, who's also undefeated. So who knows if they'll win that there. But I mean, it's how we like it. I mean, backs against the wall. I mean, it's like if you go into a state tournament, your back's against the wall. If you're going into SODAC 16, you can't lose, right? So this is a good little test early in the season to see where we're at mentally, to see where we're at. If we can somehow grind a game, because if you go 1-3, not saying, I mean, we can beat Roosevelt, and I'm going to be confident. I'm going to trust in my team, trust in our abilities to go beat them. But it's a tough game to go put all your marbles in to trust that you're going to win that. You know what I mean? Especially when Roosevelt is probably a little better than Jefferson is right now. So our backs are against the wall, and it should be a ton of fun though. Playing at the Pentagon's a lot of fun on that big court. Not that I feel like the atmosphere isn't that crazy, but it's fun playing on Heritage Court, so should be fun. And again, like I said, Jefferson's also 1-2, so they got to win as well, because if they lose to us, they go play Lincoln the next day, which good luck with that, right? It's Lincoln, so, and that's probably a 1-4 start for them, and they can't have that. If you go 1-4 or even 1-5 to start the year, it's a deep hole to climb yourself out of. It's doable though. I've seen it with teams in the past actually that have maybe not 1-5, but it started out 1-4, 2-4, and they're just fine towards the end of the year and even turn out top 5, top 7, and can make the state tournament. But yeah, it is not a hole you want to dig yourself out of. But let's look at some standings here and my thoughts on some teams going into thus far in the season for high school basketball. So this is the point system. This isn't the coaches poll. The points is what matters at the end of the year. This is what determines the seed point. This is where you get your seeds. Even if you see coaches poll online on Instagram, this is what matters. This is where you get your seeds for all the state tournaments, SODAC 16, all that stuff. But I think this doesn't matter that much right now just because no one has played the same schedule, right? So the points are going to be varied. Like, for instance, let me scroll down. Like, Rapid City Stevens is 1-3 and is ahead of Brandon, O'Gorman, Jefferson, and us, right? It's like, but we're all 1-2. How does that work? It's just how the points are right now and who they've played. It is what it is. So it doesn't really matter right now. But I'd like to go over some teams here. Spearfish, don't know much about them. I want to see who they have played. Let me click on them. They're 3-0. I don't know who they've played. They're out in the West River. Spearfish, like, it's hard to tell how good they are. Like, Belfouche won by 33. Aberdeen, who doesn't have a win yet, won by only 11. Or I guess Aberdeen's 1-3. And then they beat Pierre by, 25? Pierre's not a bad team, 2-2 so far. So honestly, respectable. I know they haven't played much competition yet, but 3-0 is 3-0, and I can't relate right now. We're 1-2, so so Spearfish at number 1, I guess, right now. Interesting. They made the state tournament last year for the first time in a lot of years. They got beat by Lincoln first round last year. Again, I don't know what to expect for them. We don't play them this year, and if we ever play them, it'll be in the state tournament. So, but yeah, they're 3-0. They were a good team last year. Should be interesting to see how they shape out. Huron, I know a lot of people that don't pay attention much to high school. If you play high school basketball, you know Huron's good. If you don't, and you're just a casual that just watches all the Sioux Falls schools, Huron is legit. They're legit every year. I think I was hating on them a little bit when I was with Sam Erickson or whatever on the last podcast that we did. But yeah, they haven't played. We can go look at their schedule. They haven't played anyone great yet, but they're 4-0, and they've won every game pretty much comfortably. T, they beat by 2, but T is a very good. T will not be in any coaches' polls probably the whole year for some reason, but T is scary good. I love T. They have Gavin Schad, who's averaging 27 points a game right now, is what I hear. That's crazy, 27 points from Gavin. And he's probably not even their best player, in my opinion. Griffin Wiminga is legit. They're both in the junior class, my class. So, but they are a sneaky team, and T area is not a team you want to play in a SODAC game, let me tell you. But yeah, they beat T by 2, beat Brookings by 16. Brookings played T, I think, pretty tight, actually, but Brookings just isn't very good. They're never very good every single year. And then Rapid City Central, they beat by 14, and they beat Rapid City Stevens by 23. So, again, they haven't played much competition, but they beat T by 2 on the first game of the year, and it was a big-time comeback. I mean, they were down by a lot, Huron was in that game, and found a way to come back. So, I mean, and again, being T, I don't care if it's by 2 or by 20, that's a quality win in my opinion. So, they've proved it at the beginning of the year to get a win there. But again, Huron's beatable. I think even though they're 4-0, like they're gonna probably be in the top 5 by the end of the year, but they are a beatable team in my opinion. But it should be interesting to see where they shape up the rest of the year. We do play them after President's Bowl, I believe. I don't know, but that will be our next game out in Huron, so that'll be tough, especially in a away game. They usually have a pretty good crowd out there at their arena. It's a fun place to play though, but yeah, that is a tough place to play out in Huron, so that should be interesting to see how we do there. Let's see, Lincoln 3-0. They've beat us. They beat Harrisburg, and they beat Yankton. So, honestly, I mean, Lincoln's legit every single year. They're going to be looking to go undefeated this year. They play Roosevelt at 3 p.m. on Monday or tomorrow. It is the 29th. Honestly, look, I think Lincoln's probably the better team, but give me Roosevelt to win. That's my prediction. I think Roosevelt might. I just have a feeling. I think Roosevelt, too, who's shaping up at 3-0, they've beat Brandon, O'Gorman, and Jefferson. Like, that is a great. I mean, that's legit right there. It's not like you're playing cakewalk games for Roosevelt or Lincoln, but Roosevelt's had a tough schedule to start the year. And again, I know O'Gorman's 1-2, and Jefferson's 1-2, and Brandon's 1-2, but those are 3 quality teams, in my opinion, that are going to be probably in the top 5, top 8. I mean, maybe not top 5, but top 8. Like, I know they're all 1-2 right now, but those teams, it's a Metro team. And every Metro team, I feel like, is really good. I think that's the thing this year. There's so many teams. I think Lincoln's kind of in a league of their own, honestly. Like, that's my top dog right now, I think. And even you can almost put Roosevelt in there right now. I don't know how Roosevelt. I know I was hating on Roosevelt again early in the season, but I think, which I do think they're peaking maybe right now, and they might peak early. But it's Roosevelt. They're playing super well. But outside of that, even I know Huron's 4-0, but I feel like Huron is one of those teams where it's like iffy. I mean, they haven't really. I know they beat T, but they haven't really proven anything yet. I think this year, when you look at this year, there are a lot of teams that are just so close, and anybody can beat anybody this year. It's going to be interesting when you get to Sodak. There could be some big time upsets, like a 12 beating a 5 or something like that. Like this would be the type of year where that happens, where in Sodak 16 games to go to state, like no upsets really happen. But if there was a year where like you could see a 12 seed, a 9 seed, and like a 10 seed all in the state tournament at the same time, this would be the year for that to happen. Now, I could be completely wrong, but this could definitely be there. T at 2-1. Mitchell, don't know much about them yet. I don't know I know they lost to Watertown, but Mitchell's Mitchell. They're usually solid every year. They weren't very good in the summer when we played them in some summer league games, some scrimmages, but 2-1's 2-1. T, again, I love T. Like, I think they're going to be so slept on. I know the Sioux Falls schools know it, but outside school, like, T is legit. Like, T does scare me sometimes. Like, when you look at their roster, they have guys that can play basketball at a very high level. But Rapid City Central, 2-2. Don't know much about them. We'll skip past them. Harrisburg, 2-1. They beat us, and they beat Yankton and lost to Lincoln. But I think, yeah, Harrisburg, I want to touch on them because I feel like I don't know where they're going to shape up this year. Like, there's just, they are a solid school. They're a solid team. I mean, I don't know, though. I think, man, it's just tough to put, like, where my top 5 is, who I think the best is, because you got, I mean, at the end of the day, look, I know the Brandon, O'Gorman, Jefferson, and us are not all playing that well, but those are all 4 Sioux Falls schools that are 1-2 right now, and it's like, very well, all 4 of these teams could be in a top 5 by the end of the year, even though they're 1-2 to start. I mean, you play a 20-game season, we're only 3 games in, there's a lot of season left. This is just, it's just, every team is just so tight this year. Like, it is going to be a dogfight to even get a good seed. Like, again, there's just so many, I would say there's just a lot of good teams this year, and a lot of teams that are just so evenly matched. that, like, again, anybody can beat anybody on any given night, and that's why I think, too, this year is going to be so much fun and so intense every single game, every single year, because if you don't come to play, I don't care if they're 0-12 or 12-0, or if you're 12-0. If you don't come to play that night, you're going to lose. Like, that's just how it's going to be. Like, if you don't put the ball in the hoop, if you don't play solid defense, if you're just a lethargic all game, you are not going to win. And so I think it's going to be a ton of fun this year to see where everyone shapes out, because, like, look, you could have all these teams are sitting at 13 right now. They could all be your top 5. Like, they could be. Like, Lincoln could lose game. I don't see Lincoln losing many games, but they could. Like, I think you look at this year, I know I've said it 5 times, but it's going to be a dogfight to get to the top of the list. There's a lot of good teams this year. And yeah, like I said, should be a ton of fun. And I think, recapping all this, I can list my top. I think Lincoln's probably your number 1 right now. They're probably I think Roosevelt's sitting at your number 2. I think Huron's probably your 3rd best team. Those are probably your top 3. I'd go Lincoln 1, Roosevelt 2, Huron 3. And then probably in my 4th spot, that could go to anyone. But those are your top 3 dogs right there. So, in my opinion. But, I think for Washington, though, moving forward this year, like, we have to, recapping this whole thing and recapping our team, we just have to fight every single day. I think that's what it's going to take if we want to be a team that wants to contend for something this year, and especially not making the state tournament last year. There's a little bit of chip on the shoulder to kind of just try to go prove something, because we didn't prove anything last year. We haven't proved anything yet this year. No one's talking about us. And they shouldn't. We're 1-2. We got killed by Harrisburg, and our wins against Yankton, and no one's going to respect a Yankton win, as they shouldn't. Right? That's no diss on Yankton. That's just how it is. But yeah, I think our backs are against the wall right now, and I think losing to Harrisburg is a great test, and to see where you can build and deal with some adversity. And I think, honestly, the Harrisburg loss could be a really good thing for us if we make it that way. If we choose to make it a really good thing for us, it could be honestly better for us than winning that game if we choose to do that. But if we decide, tomorrow, Monday, it's going to be, again, true test. You're playing at the Pentagon, and President's Bowl is not an easy place to play ever. And you're playing against Jefferson, who have 3 guys that are averaging 15+ each. Like, I know, like I said, Jefferson's 1-2, but they got 3 guys that are averaging 15+. Yeah, 3 guys, and they're 1-2, and they're averaging 15+. Like, we got to show up every day, and I love it, because we get to grind every single day, and you can't, and it teaches you a lot about more things than just basketball, but life, that you can't walk into anything, and you got to grind, and you got to work hard every single day. So yeah, that's the thing. We just got to grind and stay in the right mindset and not give up like we did against Harrisburg. Even if we start out bad against Jefferson, we have to find a way to bear down and find a way to win. And that doesn't go for Jefferson. That goes for every single game and every single time we play. So, and again, we could be a team that is awful this year if we want it to be that way. We could end up losing a lot of games, but if we bear down, I think we can be a really good team. A lot of talent on our team. And I think it could be a special year, but just kind of just depends on what people want to do and how hard we want to work, and how much as a team we want to play together, or if we want to play selfish basketball. If you play selfish basketball, it's not going to work out very well, as we've seen in the past with some teams we've had at Washington. So, I'm very confident in our squad. Again, still a lot. I say a lot of time lightly left in the year, because you only play 20 games and every game does matter, but there is time to shape some things out, for sure. But yeah, that will conclude the high school basketball part. We're already 24 minutes in. I said it was going to be a 30-minute episode, but geez, already 24 minutes on high school basketball. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to some fantasy here. My team is third place, or in the third place game right now. Can I go see matchup, who I'm playing here? I'm playing Carson. There it is. We can click on that. I'll try to zoom in here. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I've had a really great year. I'm 7-7, as you can see. We'll do that. I'm 7-7, but I have the most points scored in the league this year. Just want to make that clear for those fantasy guys listening. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been a rough year. I think I put up 150 last week, or 140. and lost to a guy that put up 170. I mean, what are you going to do? But I also in the first round of my playoffs, I also put up 170, and the guy I beat put up 150. So it's just kind of a unlucky world, I guess. But yeah, that's just how it goes. I mean, we can take a look at my team here. This is my final roster here going into the last week, which I'm up 22. Can we see the points there? I'm up 45 points to 17 there. Oh, wow, and the projected points. Oh, there's games going on right now. I didn't even know there's people playing. Sick. All right. Wow. As we go into it, well, shoot. Okay, I have Dak Prescott who put up 22. Puka hasn't playing tonight. Jalen Waddle already 0.7 up there. Must had a little 7-yard rush. Achane a point. Great start here in the first. Whoa, what did I click on? What the? All right, we need to go back here. Hold on. What in the world? Let me see if I can fix something. Yeah, but you can see Harold Fanon, I think, off my bench because I have George Kittle usually starting, who George Kittle has been phenomenal ever since he's gotten back from his injury. But there we go. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Harold Fanon Jr. Didn't even know. I picked him up off waivers, and boom, 11 points already to start. 11.34 points, and he's projected 11. I mean, this guy is balling out already. Or no, he's projected 11.34, and he's already scored 11. I mean, I think he already has a touchdown, it looks like. Yeah, I did not expect that from him, but I think my team this year has just been absolutely phenomenal, to be honest with you. Not in the championship, but I can't complain about being in a third-place game that I'm probably going to win. Don't jinx myself. But Jason Myers, if you guys know Jason Myers, a kicker, he has been absolutely lights out for Seattle. He had a slow week last week, but he's honestly like one of the better fantasy players, not just kickers, players in the league. Like, you would be happy with putting Jason Myers in your flex. It was like 19, 14, 15, 19, 13, 12, all in the span of like 7 weeks in a row. It was ridiculous. Jason Myers, I picked him up off waivers middle of the season, and one of the luckiest waiver wire. I'm not even going to say, wouldn't even say it's skill. I just needed a kicker. Looked at some kickers, looked at their point totals, and I was like, wow, he's been really good. Jason Myers, it's interesting nobody has him. And it was weird because it was on waivers, and you go look at kickers, and it ranks all the kickers. It had him like 5th on the waiver wire kickers, yet he was the best kicker in the league at the time. It's like, yeah, I'll pick him up, and he's just been absolutely phenomenal. If you have Jason Myers, you know what I'm talking about. He is saving leagues. He has saved me games, saved me weeks. The reason why I've been playing so well is because of Jason Myers. All right, and we can recap my team here. Puka Nacua did Puka Nacua stuff. As you can see, he's projected 26 points. I know Devontae Adams is out, but that's unheard of stuff. Puka Nacua is wide receiver 1 this year, and he missed 2 weeks. I mean, if that tells you anything about how well of a season he's having this year, it is ridiculous. Puka Nacua, literally, I think I got him first round in my draft this year, and it was late. It was like 11th pick. I mean, he was the best available. I'm not going to say, like, oh, I knew it was going to happen. But Puka Nacua has just been ridiculous. And he's fun to watch because he's not really the fastest guy, but, man, he doesn't drop pass. Like, he does not drop a pass. And I know everyone knows that, but, like, literally you watch Puka Nacua, he does not drop passes. It is ridiculous. Like, his hands are glue. Like, everything just sticks to his hands. Anything. One hand, it's 2 hands. Off-balance catches, diving. I mean, he does not drop a pass. It makes Matthew Stafford's life so much easier. He is truly very, very fun to watch. Recapping Jalen Waddle's season, he's been fine. He's been on and off. I don't mind him as a wide receiver 2, especially when Puka Nacua is your wide receiver 1. You don't need your wide receiver 2 to be doing something spectacular every week, but Jalen Waddle's been fine. He's had some big weeks. He's kind of a boomer bust type of wide receiver, but overall, I think he's been great, especially since when Tyreek Hill got hurt. Jalen Waddle really had to step up. And yeah, Jalen Waddle's been just fine. And again, he gets some nice deep balls, so he won't usually have a ton of catches every game, but the catches he has sometimes are big-time touchdowns, like 50-yard touchdowns. So, yeah, very satisfied with Waddle this year. Devon Achane has been absolutely ridiculous as well. And if you know, he's PPR merchant, as Ben Sprecher would say. Hopefully Ben's listening, but this guy's been ridiculous as well. I mean, he just gets so many checkdowns from Tua because Tua's just too scared to throw the ball downfield. That's why Waddle it could be a lot better than he is fantasy-wise. And HN, I think he's always been a good fantasy running back, but he's never been like a spectacular in real life running back, like in real football. Like, he doesn't rush very well, but he's actually had a great year outside of fantasy. Like, he's actually been a very quality running back for the Dolphins this year, putting up pretty good rushing numbers as well. He's had some pretty good rushing games. But yeah, he gets so many checkdowns. And again, if you're looking to draft someone next year, again, for fantasy, all that stuff, look at Achane before some other people. Like, I know Jonathan Taylor's been doing his thing. I know there's CMC, Bijan Robinson, but Achane is truly one of the better running backs you can get for your fantasy team. And it's because, too, he's consistent. His floor is like 16, right? He doesn't score less than 16 almost ever. He won't necessarily put up 30, but, dude, you can trust that he gets 16 just because of all those checkdowns he gets, especially in a PPR league. So, Tyrone Tracy, I did have Cam Scatterbo, but you all know Cam Scatterbo, like, his ankle basically like disappeared, like he killed himself. Yeah, Cam, man, I wish I had Cam Scatterbo. You can see I've kept my name Scatterbo and friends, but dude, Tyrone Tracy's been all right. He's had, gosh, keep doing this, keep Xing out. Yeah, I'll go back into my team here. Does it not let me zoom in? There we go. There we go. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy has been just fine. RB2, especially. It's kind of the same thing with Puka Nacua and Achane. My RB2s, my wide receiver 2s aren't like anything spectacular, but he's been, he's projected almost 14 points. He's been fine for me. He's had some down weeks, but he's also had some pretty good weeks. So honestly, overall, he's been just fine. Nothing to say more about there. But Harold Fannin Jr. been sitting on my bench, and boy, he came to play. I needed him this week, especially with George Kittle, I think, being out. And yeah, this guy picked him up off waivers as well. I mean, the waiver wire has been my best friend this year. Every waiver wire pickup I've had has been very, very good. Yeah. But Harold Fannin, I don't think I've ever seen him play a snap of football on TV. So, but I guess he's doing his thing. I don't, someone tell me how good Harold Fannin is, because I need to learn the name, because even on my bench, he's been a great fantasy tight end. Wan'Dale Robinson as well, very underrated. I traded away, I believe, Ricky Pearsall and DJ Moore for Wan'Dale Robinson, and I got some shade from it. I was like, why? Wan'Dale, he's wide receiver 1 now in New York because, Malik Neighbors got hurt, but Wan'Dale, man, he's so underrated. If you don't know Wan'Dale Robinson, learn the name. He's actually a lot of fun to watch, too. He's really crafty. Really crafty wide receiver. He's like just really smooth and athletic, and yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch, but very underrated. Not many people know his name, and even in fantasy, he gets you a nice 12 to 15 points a game, and especially in your flex, like that's some good flex fantasy points, especially in a 12-man league. So Wan'Dale, I traded for him. It was kind of a gutsy trade for me because Ricky Pearsall was hurt, but Ricky Pearsall was doing pretty good before he got injured. And it's like, is this a trade you want to get rid of? As Wan'Dale's not like, he's not insane, right? But he's consistent. But Ricky has probably had a higher ceiling at the time than Wan'Dale. It's like, do you do this? And I made the decision, and it was a great decision I made. And yeah, Wan'Dale's been just fine for me. And again, yeah, consistent guy, gets you 12 to 14 points, and Wan'Dale, very underrated. Learn the name. For those of you that don't know, our fantasy football punishment this year is the dog kennel, right? You sit in the dog kennel, and people put 2 disgusting items on you, and you just sit there and you take it. And Cole Riley will be doing that this year. So Cole Riley, get ready. If you guys are listening, you want to give me a suggestion or something to put in that dog kennel, feel free. But I'm thinking syrup and flour is going to be my 2 items. Yeah, that's going to be hell for him. It doesn't sound that bad. It's not that bad, because I think embarrassing punishments are probably worse for fantasy football. Honestly, like doing something embarrassing is just like the worst punishments. But this isn't going to be fun. Yeah, there's going to be, I know there's going to be kids in our group or in our league that are just going to put some ridiculous items into that kennel, and it's not going to be fun for Cole. So just know, Cole, I'm probably doing syrup and flour. I know there's going to be a lot worse than what I'm doing, but I think, man, yeah, the stickiness with the flour sticking onto him is going to be, that's a tough one for him. So Again, I'm not going to go disgusting, like smelling foods, because I think a lot of people are going to be already doing that. But yeah, I think that should be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to try to film it on TikTok too and see how much I can get of it and post it, the whole thing, just clips and stuff, edit it and all that stuff and post it on TikTok. But yeah, like I said, should be fun. Hopefully we do it soon. It's kind of cold out, but fantasy football punishments, they get really stringed out. They get really, really strung out, and people wait a lot of time to try to hold it off. But I'm really hoping we can do this in the next month or so and find a day where it's like 40 degrees out, which there probably could be a day in January where it's 40 degrees, and we just, we do it. And I think, too, our winners are going to get a ring. If you're watching, I'm going to buy the ring. Don't worry, guys. I will buy the ring for the Fantasy League. It's still coming. I got to find the one to get. And again, if you guys do a league, you should buy a ring. It's like $10. It's a nice little gift for the winner. It's not expensive. It's kind of fun to wear and have around. I know Des Wilco won last year and wore it to school, so that was kind of funny. But I think, and then money, if you guys are wanting money, how much we win, I'm not totally sure. I think a $25 buy-in. So I think the winner is going to win a good chunk of money this year. I know if I win here and come third, I'll win probably my money back, which is totally fine. I'll take $25 back. I'm totally fine with that. But total points you can see first. I mean, we played phenomenal this year. To sum that up, I came fourth, 7-7. I couldn't tell you how that works out, but that's fantasy football. You score a lot of points, but you play teams that score a lot of points against you. You're going to end up like in third instead of first. So it's unfortunate, but you get what you get. But you're not going to be satisfied, or as the Purple Hoser says with Dude Perfect, you're not going to be mad about podium. So he's always a podium guy, Garrett Hilbert. So I think that's looking like podium for us. We're projected 144. Carson Coulter, who I'm playing here in the third place game, projected 103. So yeah, I think I'm projected to win 80% chance to win. So yeah, should be almost a guaranteed win for me this week, but you never know. Let's jump into the week 9, I believe, TikTok series. I believe it's week 9. So here after fantasy. So what we're going to be talking about today to finish up this podcast is, what is your worth in? Right? Where do you find your worth in life? And I think a lot of us are so tied up in sports or friends or friend groups, and how popular are we? How, we find worth in ourselves. We find worth in our successes. We find so much worth in everything but God. And I think when we do that, you're going to be very, very unsatisfied. You're going to be very sad, because you're always going to be wanting more worth and more fame and more success and everything, because that's just how we're humanly wired. That's just how we're wired. We want to be the best at everything. And what I'm trying to get at here is, don't put your worth in those things. They will always fail you, but God will never fail you. God, I've said this so many times on this series, but you guys got to find your worth in God, because God will never fail. God is forever, everlasting. This life is temporary. Like, God is for eternity, forever. This life is 80 years or so, 90 for 80 years if you're lucky. No matter how much money you make, no matter how successful you are at your sport, no matter how successful you are at an instrument, no matter how popular you are, no matter how attractive you are, dude, when you die, and then 1,000 years later, or however long later, not even 1,000, literally like a year later, nobody's really gonna care. Like, nobody's gonna be talking about you for how good at basketball you were. Nobody's going to be talking about how attractive you were, but God, will see you in heaven, and he will judge you, and will judge you about how you put your worth in things. And I mean, okay, you see where I'm getting at here, right? Sorry, I'm really stumbling over my words, and I'm sidetracking a lot here, but the bottom line is, guys, this life is temporary. This life will not last forever, but God is forever. You guys got to put your worth in God, because, again, God will never fail. God will fulfill everything. When you put when you look to seek God and do things for his glory, you will find so much more joy. And again, I think a lot of us nowadays just are just worshiping our sport, or worship. I bring up sports a lot because that's what I do, right? I play baseball, I play basketball, and it is cool to be successful. It's cool to play in front of a big crowd, and it's cool to win a big game and be successful. But at the end of the day, it doesn't last forever. And again, like, I struggled a little bit last year in baseball for a time, went in a slump hitting wise, and I wouldn't even want to show up to school because I was like so embarrassed with myself and so like, that's just not healthy. Like, I was like depressed almost. I mean, I wouldn't say I was depressed, but probably I was. And it was like, dude, this stuff doesn't really matter. This stuff for baseball should be used for God's glory, to try to bring more people to God, not for me. You know what I mean? And again, I think a lot of us try to find worth in basketball, baseball, sports, music. Again, I've said this 3 times already, but we always will never be satisfied, because even if you are successful, let's say at the high school level, you want to be successful at the college level. And if you're successful at the college level, you want to be successful at the pro level. And there's going to be times, if you put your worth in that thing, that you will struggle, that you will fail, that something will go wrong for you, and you're going to become depressed like I did. You're going to become sad because, like, you put all your worth into that, and it failed you, and it's like, man, I don't know what to do, right? And again, God will never fail you. God will always be there for you. Even though there's struggles, God will always prevail. God will always make life better for you, and that's why you have to put your worth in God, because he is perfect, he is everlasting, and he loves you so much. This world doesn't love you. God loves you, and that is why you have to put your worth in him, and don't put your worth in other things. All right, so that will conclude the Week 9 and today, this podcast. 41 minutes, 42 minutes, a little bit longer than I liked, but yeah, not ideal to do this by myself, but I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys watching, and be there at President's Bowl. We play tomorrow, Monday at 5, and Tuesday at 5. We play Jefferson tomorrow and Roosevelt on Tuesday. So, if you're from Washington, come out, support, watch. Definitely like to have you guys there, but hopefully we can get some wins. But I appreciate you guys listening today. As that is episode 30 to finish out the year. I want to try to do more podcasts, but it's just tough with basketball and everything. And you work a job and all this stuff. And I live life, I guess. And it's tough to get people, and some people don't want to do it. So, and it makes sense. But yeah, thank you guys for listening here. Still a lot of fun. And again, episode 30, this will conclude it. And we will see you guys in the next one. Breckenbeitler out.